So I bought a refurbished PS5 from wish.com, and we all know how that goes. So let's go ahead and open this thing up and see what they sent us. So first of all, I'm not sure why they sent it in a box that says do not lay flat. I mean, it's a PS5. It can be laid in pretty much any direction it wants to be. And second of all, I don't think it comes in the original box because it's not a small box, but it's smaller than the original PS5 box. So I'm assuming it comes all by itself. Now, I actually bought a refurbished Xbox Series X from Wish a little while back, a few months ago. I'll throw a link on the screen if you want to check that out. Let's see what they sent us in this package. So I think I got to slide it open like so. Doesn't fit all that well on the camera, but let's go ahead and get this out of here. And yeah, it does not have the original box in here, but the console is actually in there. So there's the PS5. We've got our stand, which is, I'm surprised they didn't forget that. We've got some more stuff down here that I can't really see. All right, so coming out of here, we got a few cords. We've got a controller, and that looks like all. Let me go ahead and get this a little bit more organized. So I dug a little deeper, and the quick start guide was actually in there as well. But as you can see, we've got a power cord. We have a USB cable for charging your controller, and we also have an HDMI cable. I can't tell if this HDMI cable is OEM or not. I don't really care right now. But let's go ahead and see what's in this little package. So we've got our stand, and first thing I'm going to check is, oh, the screw's there. That is actually very surprising. So yeah, I thought for sure the screw would be missing. I bought a refurbished PS5 from eBay a while back. I think it was sometime last year, and the screw was missing. And then we've got our controller here, which at first glance looks pretty good. The triggers feel good. All the buttons feel nice. The joysticks look like they haven't been used very much. And even when you look at the back, it doesn't look like it's been used much, because if you look at a PS5 controller, you can kind of tell where there's some wear marks here from people's hands, but I don't see much of it being worn off. And then here, of course, is the PS5. So they actually got some of these, I don't know, custom inserts right here that held it in place pretty well, which is another surprising thing to see from wish.com. It's good to see. So first glance at this thing, it's actually pretty dusty on the glossy part. It looks like it's almost dust from those inserts that were used to protect the PS5. But you can wipe them off. The bad part about wiping dust off of the glossy part is it gets scratched up. But if you take a look at the bottom, looks pretty good. Looks really clean, actually. Again, got a little bit of dust, but not bad at all. And then here on the top, same thing. A little bit of dust, but nothing crazy. And then here on the top, looks pretty good. Again, a bunch of dust on the glossy part. And so on the back, looks pretty good as well. It does look a bit dusty, just like every other side. We can use some canned air and spray that off. Bottom looks good as well. They actually even have this little tab right here where you put the screw in. So that's actually pretty surprising to see. So to be honest, so far so good. The controller looks pretty good. PS5 looks pretty good, just a bit dusty. We'll spray it off with some canned air, but let's go ahead and plug this thing in and we'll see if it actually works, because last time I bought a refurbished PS5, it looked fine, but once I plugged it in, it had some issues. So before I test this thing out, I want to tell you about my website called jrubgaming.com. I sell video games, so anything from consoles, games, accessories, pretty much anything I can get my hands on, retro to newer stuff. And I also do trade-ins, so if you have a big collection you're looking to liquidate, go ahead and fill out the form on my website and I'll get back to you with a price. And if you sign up for the newsletter on my site, you get a new discount code every single day, so make sure to check that out. And I'm really trying to grow the site, so make sure to check it out, and I appreciate the support. So I have the console plugged in now, got power, HDMI, got my USB cord here that I'll plug into the controller. And like you can see up close, the controller actually looks really good, and so does the console. I really don't see that many scratches in the glossy part, which is pretty impressive considering usually the glossy part gets scratched up pretty easily. So let's go ahead and turn this thing on and we'll see if it works. All right, so we got life there. That's good to see. First thing we'll check is to see if there's a game in the slot, and there's not. Every once in a while I'll buy a console and it'll actually have a disc still stuck on the drive, which is kind of cool, a free game. So the console is on and working now. As you can see, it's on the screen. I was having an issue with my Elgato. I'm going to go ahead and boot up to the main screen and get the issue resolved, and I'll come back. So we're up and running now. The issue was I had HDCP enabled by default. So as you can see, we're booted up. I already updated my controller, updated my system. Now let's go ahead and put a game in and make sure it works. So first I actually want to start with the PS4 game just to make sure it reads. And what do you know, the game's not in there. So maybe we'll start with a different game. So the game wasn't in there because it's in my PS4. It's the last game I played on my PS4. We got Just Cause 3 here though. Let's go ahead and put this in. So it took the disc in just fine and it's copying now. So I don't actually want to copy this all the way. Let's go ahead and eject it. I just wanted to make sure it would read a PS4 game. But next up we have a PS5 game, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and I actually want to test this one out. So let's go ahead and put this in, and I'll let it install, and we'll make sure it works. So I finished downloading and installing Ratchet & Clank, and it seems to work well. You know, I'm testing out the controller for a while, and all the adapter triggers and everything work good. Same with all the buttons work as well. So I haven't seen any issues so far, and I haven't really talked about this much, but I bought this thing from Wish.com, so I was not expecting this thing to work properly. I wasn't even expecting a PS5 to come. You know, back a while ago, I bought a PS5, and now I knew this was a scam, but I bought a PS5 from Wish.com for like $180. This was like a year and a half ago. I thought they would send me a bag of rocks or something, but they actually just sent me nothing at all. I had to jump through some hoops to get a refund, but you know, I eventually got it. Now this one I did pay more than retail price, so I did pay, you know, a reasonable amount of money, at least comparatively to what they sell for on eBay. But you know, so far it works well, and the PS5 looks good. PS5 controller looks good. You know, I've been playing this for a while, and it's, you know, the temperature seems reasonable. The fan is not too loud, so far so good, surprisingly. So next thing I want to do is actually open this console up, take a look inside, and see if they actually refurbished anything. You know, my first thought is that maybe they just got a customer return and somehow this company resells them. That's kind of what I think happened with the Series X that I bought. But let's go ahead and turn this thing off and do that. So let's take this thing apart. Now I first started by already taking off the covers. Pretty easy to do. You just pop up one side and slide it apart. I see a little bit of dust in there, but nothing crazy. Same on this one. They either cleaned it out really well, or it was just never used in the first place. And so here you can see the fan on both sides. Just looking inside the console again, I mean, there's like a little bit of dust and dirt in there. Not even dirt, just dust, but extremely minimal. And then what I like to do is zoom in on some of these screws and see if they look like they've been unscrewed before. So like typically if you look at a screw and you look at kind of like the inside part where you actually stick your screwdriver in and turn, you'll see kind of some residue or just like some wear and tear from taking the screw out. These, I don't really see it. It's kind of hard to tell. You know, if it's been unscrewed one time, it's hard to tell, but let me see if I can replicate it. All right, finally got focused, but as you can see on like the inside of the screw, there's kind of some residue there because I unscrewed it and put my screwdriver in there. And down on this one, I don't really see any. So I know that's a really small thing to look at, but that kind of clues me into the fact that this fan has probably not been taken out before. We'll go ahead and take it out and kind of strip this down some more and take a closer look. And if you're not familiar, this area right here is where you put a M.2 SSD to extend your storage and basically add more memory to your PS5. I actually have a video on how to do that, which I'll throw up on the screen right now if you want to check that out. So I have the fan partially out now, and as you can see, it looks super clean. So it's either not been used before or they just did an excellent job at cleaning it. But I mean, like I don't see a single speck of dust. So I've taken a few things apart, and we're gonna go one step further and go down to the motherboard to take a quick look at it. And I still don't think this thing's been opened before. It just looks too clean and too pristine to have even been touched, particularly the screws. But let's go ahead and try it out. So the other thing I just noticed is that this sticker right here, you have to remove a screw, and you basically can't get their PS5 apart without removing the sticker, and it's pretty obvious when you remove it. So this thing has definitely not been removed before. So let me just show you as I'm taking it apart or taking it off, and as you can see, it's basically like a warranty sticker, and once it's gone, it's gone. I mean, you can't stick that back on there. I guess you could, but as you can see, it's gonna look like that now. So it'll be pretty. I think it'll be pretty obvious if that sticker had been removed. So basically, I'm like 99% sure this PS5 has not been taken apart before, at least not past this part. But even judging by the other screws I saw, I don't think it's been taken apart at all. So I guess where I could be wrong is maybe they took it apart and as in just took the plates off and dusted it out. I mean, that's plausible, could have happened. But we're gonna go ahead and take this piece off since we're already this far and see if we notice anything weird. But I mean, it looks super clean in here. I don't see anything. I'm honestly, there's probably no point going any further because we've seen multiple instances that show us that this thing has definitely not been taken apart before. But everything looks super clean. I don't see any dirt. You know, there's a little bit of dust just from just like normal dust. But I'm pretty impressed. This thing came from Wish.com and we didn't get scammed. The PS5 works fine. I haven't seen any issues yet. You know, I actually bought a refurbished PS5 from eBay like a year ago and it had some GPU issues. So from the outside looking in, it looked good, but once I, started playing it, it had some issues. But yeah, I'm surprised again by Wish. They gave me something legit. Now obviously I paid over retail, but it goes over retail on eBay and pretty much everywhere unless you find one in stores. So I just wanted to check this out. And the next step is to buy a refurbished PS5 from GameStop, Series X from GameStop, that sort of thing. But this is impressive from Wish. I applaud you. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure to check out my website at jropgaming.com. Got anything to trade in, go ahead and fill out that form, and if you want to buy anything, it's on there. And in my newsletter, I give out discount codes every day, so make sure to check it out.